This episode of HakTip is brought to you by OpsGenie. Your next incident doesn't stand a chance. Welcome to HakTip, the show where we break down concepts, tools, and techniques for hackers, gurus, and IT ninjas. I'm your host, Shannon Morrison. Today we are adding shell functions to our script. Now, what are shell functions? Well, from gnu.org, shell functions are a way to group commands for later execution using a single name for the group. They are executed just like a regular command. Now, when the name of a shell function is used as a simple command name, the list of commands associated with that function name is executed. Shell functions are executed in the current shell context, so no new process is created to interpret them. And they save you lots of typing because they can be invoked again and again throughout your script. Now, this is going to be the start of a top-down design of programming, where you start with overarching steps and then you whittle them down to much more detailed steps. So right now our script kind of goes like this. It opens up with the page and the header, and then you set the title and it closes the header, and then it opens up the body of text and it outputs the headings, the body of text, whatever I wrote in there, and then timestamps, and then it closes out the body of text and it closes out the page. And that's it. It's a fairly simple process. Now we can add some shell functions into that to make it more robust. So we will request the uptime, the disk space, and the home space for this specific computer. You could also do this over a network if you wanted to, but I'm going to keep it simple for this tutorial. So let's go ahead and click over to my computer and I'll show you how to get started with that. And I'll open up my document again over on gedit. Okay, I'm going to go down here, and right underneath this is a body of text. Yay! I'm going to type in $, report uptime. Use another one, report disk space, and a third one called report home space. Now, if I'm walking through this way too slow for you and you want to catch up and just do a lot more, I would highly recommend checking out the Linux command line, A Complete Introduction. It's over on No Starch Press. It's a really great tutorial book. That's where I'm getting this example from, and this is pretty much exactly what they do in the book. So it's a really good example, and it's easy to learn with that book as well. Okay, I think we're gonna leave everything else the same. So let's go ahead and make sure it works by saving that file and closing out of there. And okay, so we're gonna go ahead and run it again. Now you'll notice with this one that it says command not found because I've only put in the ending of these shell functions. I haven't put in the beginning, so this is not surprising at all that it shows me this command not found error. And then of course, if I open it back up, it's going to look exactly the same. So let's go ahead and try that again, but this time we're going to add in more information. So let's open this up. And we're going to add in the shell function definitions for those new functions that we just added. So open it up in gedit or whatever you're using to edit, and go ahead and add in the following information to the top part right underneath where you have the current time by user section. So first we're going to put report uptime, empty parentheses, open squigglies. That's what I like to call them. I know that's not the proper one, but whatever, I don't care. System uptime. So I'm echoing system uptime, so that should be written on there. Return for the end of this value, and then close out those squiggly parentheses. I'll do the same thing for reporting that disk usage. Close the squiggly parentheses. And then we have report home space. Echo home space, and we'll change this to utilization. Fancy. Return and close out those squiggly parentheses. Okay, so all I did here was add in this functionality that echoes system uptime. This one adds the functionality that echoes disk space usage, and then this one adds a function that echoes home space utilization. So when each of these is called down here, it should just give me those echoed bits of string of text, and that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Okay. Now you'll notice that sysinfo.html is saved correctly. So if I open it up in Firefox, Perfect. Okay, that's exactly what I expected. So this is a body of text, yay. You'll notice everything is on the same line because this is HTML, so I need to make sure that it knows that I want to put a return there or put a little enter in between each of these. So I'll add that in. So I can go ahead and close out of this now. Okay, so you may be wondering why I am doing this bit by bit and I'm showing you the errors as I go. The reason for that is to keep the chances of errors low so that debugging is a painless experience. The more errors that you receive whenever you try to save a file, whenever you try to run something, the harder it's going to be to actually fix it. So if we just have a few errors each time, it's much easier to fix it in the long run. So we now have feedback for what each of those shell functions do. So when the script is ran, we see each of those functions with that little bit of text output. That's really cool, but we have even more to chat about, so I will be right back after the break. The holidays are upon us, and if you run an online business, you know how important this part of the year is. You need to make sure your platform, your services, and your systems are ready for an influx of customers. But here's the thing, incidents are going to happen at any time, anywhere, and you want to make sure that your company responds quickly and efficiently to unplanned issues by coordinating between your unsung heroes, those ops and those software dev teams. So getting alerts immediately is critical when an incident occurs, and that's why there's Ops Genie by Atlassian. Ops Genie empowers your team to plan for service disruptions, stay in control, and it helps to notify all the right people through scheduling and escalation paths that take into account things like time zones and holidays. Deployment and scheduling of alerts is totally flexible, and it's supported by over 200 integrations like Jira, Amazon CloudWatch, Datadog, and more. Ops Genie can also help your team learn how to improve future incident responses with the built-in tracking and insights. Now, if your admin, Alex, for example, is still in a turkey coma from Thanksgiving, she's not answering her email, and you have a server down, Ops Genie will take that into consideration by alerting Mary instead, and your customers are happy because of that fast response time. Planning before an incident is crucial, and with Ops Genie, your next incident does not stand a chance. Visit opsgenie.com to sign up to get a free company account and add up to 5 team members, no credit card required. That's opsgenie.com. Never miss a critical alert with Ops Genie. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there on this episode because there is quite a bit of information to get through with shell functionality, so stay tuned because coming up on HakTip, we will be introducing some commands into those new shell functions to make it report live data from the machine. The whole point of this script is to report data, so we're going to get to the data. Until then, I want to hear your feedback. What program are you using? Comment below and be sure to check out our sister show, Hack 5, for more great stuff just like this, and I'll be here next week. Trust your technolust.